Hey guys, welcome back to Hand Says. Today's video is about buying or leasing, which is better for you. For buying, we're going to assume you're financing the car. So let's go ahead. There are a few things you need to consider before deciding on buying or leasing. The first is ownership. When you buy a car, you own it outright. You can do whatever you want with it. You can keep it for as long as you want till the day the car dies, basically, or you die, for that matter. When you're leasing a car, you only lease it for a certain amount of time. Once that lease period ends, whether it be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, you can choose to renew the lease. You can choose to give the car back, or you can choose to buy it out, one of the two. But there is an action that is required at the end of the lease. Secondly, what you need to consider are the monthly payments. Typically, monthly payments on a finance are going to be much higher as you're actually paying down the car, whereas on a lease, the monthly payments are typically much lower because you're only borrowing the car and you're only literally paying for basically the depreciation and the interest on the amount. So you aren't really paying the car down. And considering it's not your car and you're going to give it back, whatever money is gone is pretty much gone. The third is the upfront cost of the car. Typically, when you're buying a car, you're expected to put some amount of money down, and most banks will expect you to put at least 5 to 20% down as a down payment. But there are cases where you do not put any money down and you get 0% financing as well. You could choose to pay the taxes upfront or roll the taxes into the finance term. Uh, Again, it will all depend on the bank and how you decide to work with it. As far as lease is concerned, typically there are no down payments expected. You might pay the first month's fees upfront, but and maybe some taxes, and that's it. So you could walk away with a car paying nothing in the as down, or you could obviously give some money down and then lower your monthly payments. One more thing you need to consider is the early termination. So when you're buying a car, it's your car and you can keep it for as long as you want, or you can sell it as soon as you want. You can buy today, sell it tomorrow. It's your choice. But when you lease a car, there might be some penalty for terminating the lease early. So you need to be careful of that. Mileage. Uh, Another point is mileage. When you're buying a car, you can drive it as long as you want or as little as you want. But when you're leasing a car, there might be a mileage stipulation in the lease, and you would not be allowed to go over that every year. So let's say you have mileage stipulation of 15,000 kilometers every year. There would be a penalty if you were to cross that threshold and go to 16, 17, or 18,000 kilometers in that year. The last point is customization. While this may not be applicable for everybody, this is something you must definitely consider. If you're an enthusiast and you really like to make your car your own, if you're buying it, obviously you can do whatever you want to your car. You can modify it, change it. It's all fair game. But if you're leasing a car, then you would have to turn back all the modifications and put it back to original when you're going to sell it. So keep that in mind. So when does it make more sense to buy a car? It makes more sense to buy a car if you drive a lot, if you plan on buying used, if you are very hard on your cars, if you plan on keeping it for a very long time, and if your credit is imperfect. When does it make more sense to lease a car? It makes more sense to lease a car if you're self-employed and you can write off your lease payments as write-offs. If you're always looking for the next new car technology, for the next best thing in cars, it's better to lease. You can change your car every year or two and not pay the penalty for it. If you want cheaper upfront monthly payments, it's better to lease a car. And if you want an electric car, it's better to lease it because the residuals on electric cars are not expected to be very high.